Hey, it's Joey for Digital DJ Tips. Right now, taking a really quick look at this. This is Aumeo, and it's a little box that optimizes your headphones based on your hearing. It works by filling in the gaps in audio frequencies that you may have a hard time hearing. So the way it works is you plug in your headphones over to the output jack here at the top of the Aumeo box, and then you pair this with your smartphone running the Aumeo Hub app. It's got an iOS or an Android version. The app then runs a series of tests, and those tests come in the form of sound frequencies that are played back through your headphones. You then adjust the volume until you can barely hear those sounds. So you do that for your left ear and you do that for your right ear. Now after that, your audio profile is created. You then transfer that profile over onto the Aumeo box. So whenever the device that you've got this connected to plays back sound or music, whether you've got this connected to your phone, your tablet, your laptop, or even a DJ mixer or DJ controller, you will be hearing the Aumeo enhanced audio. Sounds really cool on paper, but is it any good in use? Well, in this short talk through, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the Aumeo and whether or not it's something that I would like to use in my DJ sets or when I'm just listening to music at home. And then you can arrive at your own conclusions whether it's something that you would want to add to your DJ setup. Let's get started. I hooked up the Aumeo to my favorite pair of DJ headphones at the moment, the Pioneer HDJ 2000 Mark IIs. I've been using these for all of my gigs for quite a while now. I love the isolation, I love the volume, I love the clarity. I use these for all types of gigs. Sometimes when I'm at the coffee shop, I just want to listen to music. I take these along, especially if that place is noisy. Or even when I'm at home and I just want to listen to music on a pair of club-ready or gig-ready headphones, I tend to run songs through these cans. So I know them pretty well. And despite that, I know that they're not perfect. Well, no headphone is 100% perfect. I know that these cans tend to have a dip somewhere in the low mids of the audio frequency range. So I was kind of curious as to how the Aumeo would compensate for that. And I was also curious to know whether or not I had suffered any hearing damage. Of course, this is not a substitute for visiting a hearing specialist where you go through like a really, really detailed measurement of your hearing so you know exactly which frequencies you're having a hard time hearing. But I guess this is more or less like a broader look at the way that your hearing has been damaged over time, if your hearing is actually damaged. So before we move any further, I just want to show you the audio profile that I created on the Aumeo with these headphones. Here it is right now. Right, so as you can see, there are dips over in the lower mids from 125 hertz up until 500 hertz for both ears. And you can also see that in my left ear, the topmost frequency is a bit shaved off, and I guess that's attributable to me being a guitarist in a band where I'm always stood next to the drummer's cymbals. I should have worn hearing protection when I was a lot younger. But yeah, so there it is, a bit of damage there on my left ear. That is something that Aumeo is going to fill in the gaps or compensate for. Okay, so now that I've shown you what my graph looks like, I just want to give you my thoughts on the Aumeo. First off, I realized that I like using the Aumeo for specific use case scenarios. I like it more than others. For example, when I would be gigging at a noisy bar, I'm playing a big club, or even just a place where a lot of people are talking around me and I need to really listen to my music so I can queue up the next track, or at least I can find a spot in the track that I want to drop next. I found that having the Aumeo enhanced audio coursing through my headphones prevented me from turning up the volume on my DJ controller. What I would do is I'd hook it up to my DDJ RZ. The Aumeo has an 1/8-inch audio input jack, so I plug it in like this, and I just plug this other end to the headphone output of my DJ controller. And then I listen to my headphone cue with the enhanced audio. And it really, really helps because instead of having to turn up the volume just so I can hear more detail in the lower mids and the mids specifically. The Aumeo already compensates for that by bringing those frequencies up. So I find myself actually turning the volume down a little bit during gigs, which of course is really good because in the long run, it's gonna save my ears from hearing fatigue and hearing loss. So in that sense, I do like using the Aumeo, and I've taken it to a couple of gigs, and I really like using it then. However, I tried using this in a home setting, like here in my studio, which is pretty quiet actually. I tried listening to some music on it, and I realized that it can be a tad bit overwhelming just because all of those frequencies that I'm supposed to have gaps in are being compensated for. And it just feels like everything is right in my face. That's one of the effects of using Aumeo. The sound is a lot more present. It's more urgent and immediate. So that, again, that's great for like a loud environment or a club environment where you're performing. But when you just want to enjoy music at home, I found it a little bit overbearing. Having said that, there are some styles of music that I enjoy listening with Aumeo enhancement on, even though I'm at home. An example of that is really old music from the mid 20th century. Like I was listening to this Cannonball Adderley album over on Spotify and YouTube, and I really felt that listening to those songs through the Aumeo just made them sound a little bit more modern. Maybe because like it just sounded a bit more in your face, and well, that's the way a lot of music sounds these days. It just really made it sound a bit more modern, for lack of a better term. And I did enjoy listening to those songs through this. Now, I will not say that music is always better through the Aumeo. Again, I think it's a really personal choice to make. It could help you enjoy your music more, but again, hearing is very subjective, especially listening to music and appreciating it. So it's all gonna depend on your preference and your style. As for me, I do like this for gigs. I think it's really, really cool for listening to music at home. Don't need it. However, one really, really cool sort of perk about using something like this, which is Bluetooth enabled, that means that you can use this with your smartphone, and you can plug in any pair of headphones to it and just basically make them a little bit wireless, or at least wireless as far as your phone is concerned, especially if you're using something like the iPhone 7 or 7 Plus, which doesn't have a headphone jack. Also, if you listen to music in your car, podcasts, and that sort of stuff, and you don't want to fiddle around with wires and have to plug and unplug everything, you can just leave this in your car's console and music console or under the dash. Just plug in like the 1/8 inch jack from the output and into the aux in of your car stereo, and then suddenly your car is Bluetooth enabled. So that's it for my talk through of Aumeo. I've got a more detailed look at this over at the Digital DJ Tips website. The link is in the description box below. Hit the thumbs up icon if you like this video, and hit that subscribe button if you are not a subscriber yet. My name is Joey. Thank you so much for watching this. I'll see you next time.